Am I streaming on YouTube?
Yep, I got a pop-up notification. That is the word. I took the late start as an opportunity to get a little bit of exercise.
Howdy.
And I have no blood in my brain currently.
It says we're streaming, but it also says we're not streaming. So can people see? There we go. Okay. We're good. We are good. Yeah, I can see it, Tommy. Why can't I pop out the chat? PD Workman. Flesh for the flesh lord. Welcome in, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well today. Oh, okay, let's just start. It's been a weird morning, to say the least. Rugby. Somewhere out there's got to be an AI that can draw rugby better than I can.
Maybe. But the AIs don't know how to learn from their own mistakes yet, so.
That's true. Oh, wow, 7 kittens. That's a lot. That's a lot of kittens. Congratulations.
What is with strange epitaphs?
What do you mean?
Flesh for the flesh lords, needles for the needle mouths.
Yeah, I don't get needles for the needle mouth. But flesh for the flesh lords also doesn't. Is this 40k lore that I'm not privy to?
Mm-hmm.
Drank caffeine yesterday, and so I got no sleep, and I'm tired.
Oh. That sounds rough. I'm sorry.
That's all right. It's no fault. Went to a wedding this weekend, and a bunch of my friends from the wedding got hungover. And I was like, man, if I have like a Coke and a cup of tea on the same day, I feel hungover. Game almost ready. Kind of
Nice.
excited. We had to revamp a bunch of the scripts, which took a little while.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we got crabs that chase the players, little tiny crabs. We got big crabs that eat the towers. We got little crabs that shoot bubbles at people. That was really fun. Once I got that in there, the whole game changed. It was awesome. The bird is slouching. Uh-oh. Let me look at this. What's going on? Huh. Nah, seems fine to me. I'm tired. I need to get a drink, though. Let me get a drink, then we'll roll some dice. Hope everybody's having a wonderful week. It's already 1 o'clock. That's terrifying. Do I have YouTube? I don't know if I have the YouTube. There we go. They look like a printer that slowly ran out of ink, going from pitch black to slowly turning gray. Wait, what?
The kittens?
Oh, okay.
They were born in order of darkest to palest, I guess. I'm assuming is what that means.
I always think it's funny when you see litters of kittens that are like Kodachromed that way. It's like you have bright orange, and then you have like orange and white, and then you have white with like orange face, and then like half and half. You're just like, what happened to that cat? And then a white cat. It's like that one doesn't fit the model. Okay, it's a viewer suggestion. We're gonna roll some dice. The kid's in the other room, so I think we'll be fine rolling dice today. 1. Wow. All right. Starting off strong.
Yeah.
A GIF fighter smoking a pipe. Gith are the space elves. GIF are the hippos, right?
Yeah.
With the F's.
Yeah. The F's are the hippos. Correct.
Good deal. Put rugby down here. Do. You can still put it on the list now if you want, Elliot.
I have once again forgotten how to draw in Magma. Or I suppose how I draw in Magma.
I feel like I should just draw Modang. Why do all space creatures start with the letter G? That's a good question. I don't know.
It probably has its roots in some sci-fi author. But I could not tell you which one.
The G is also a kind of a weird sound in language.
Yeah, in some languages it's really guttural.
Mm-hmm. Jorge. Like, I think it spawned from the J, which used to be a Y, which also turned into H. So like, there's a thing, and I think the G is the newest weird one, right? The g.
Yeah.
I don't think gorillas can make that noise. Putting a playtest on Saturday. Cool. I was watching the new, well, I think it was the new Dracula. With a new Nosferatu.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy had a super long pipe like this.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I've seen those before, but I can't place where. Like, I think they're Indian? Like from India?
Yeah, I think so.
I tried to look it up, but I couldn't figure out exactly what kind of pipe it was. Maybe Morocco? I feel like these and hookahs are somehow related.
Yeah,
It's just a really long bong.
yeah. No, I'm with you though. In my mind, they're patterned kind of similarly, or they're usually decorated similarly.
I mean, it's a hippo. We gotta go for the Roosevelt, right? Wait, did he have a cob pipe? I'm thinking of Eisenhower.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about our presidents from the past, and I don't want to know any more about our presidents from today.
The hypocrisy is strong with this one. We watched a thing yesterday about sigil. Is that what it's called? I think it was D&D Shorts talking about it, but so
The lawful neutral city.
no, WotC's tabletop RPG.
Oh,
Apparently they fired everybody but like 3 people working on it because it's just hot garbage. I don't know if that's the truth. That's what, like I said, RPG art. That's me. RPG, D&D Shorts. D&D Shorts. I wish I could talk today. That'd be nice. D&D Shorts. They're a little skewed on their opinion of things.
yeah.
So I don't take them at face value all the time, but they trash talked it pretty hard, and they seemed like they had a good case. So. The VTT review? Yeah. So I don't know if it's that WotC just hasn't actually invested the resources into making it function yet. But they let a bunch of people try it, and apparently doesn't actually run, is what his suggestions were. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But there's always some frustration. I'm going to switch the background. This one's just too funky.
Ooh, crunchy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's try that. I almost want this one to be like... Just hang tight with me.
Yep.
Do that. No, that's not right. Do this. Do that. Ah! Sorry.
You're good.
I'm using Photoshop.
My-
Photoshop shortcuts, and they're not working.
My current problem with drawing is neither helped nor hindered by the background at the moment. So.
Okay. I want to flip this. How do I flip this? Let's grab this. This might make people vomit. If so, I'm sorry. Wah. Wah.
Are you trying to reduce the size of the weave?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I've quadrupled the size of it, but to make it match up, I had to flip it. And to flip it, I had to stretch it all the way into the negative. And I know that hurts people's brains sometimes. I'll do that in Photoshop later so it's cleaner, but I think that helped. There we go. Okay. Was this supposed to be a fighter GIF? I don't remember.
Neither do I.
From what I understood, the performance requirements might be too much for most computers. I heard that as well.
Yeah, I'd heard that.
Which, like, that's a big thing with any game design is, like, you build it, you test it, and then you optimize it. Which, once again, like, so I don't mind if it doesn't work right out of the gate.
Just as long as it works on release.
But that's the thing is they just fired like their whole team. So it's like, is the remaining team just there to optimize or what? Because like that's terrifying.
No idea. Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But I want WotC to succeed, you know. I want them to do well.
I want Hasbro to sell WotC.
Yeah.
Huh.
Let's start a GoFundMe. We want to buy WotC back from Hasbro.
Honestly, it doesn't have to be us. I just want anybody other than Hasbro.
I think somebody tried to do that when they started doing all the weird shit. They tried to have somebody buy it back as a, basically like a group funded thing, right? Like, so it would go back to the people, it'd be open sourced.
Right.
But I don't think they got enough money. I think there was some internal politics that caused trouble. Most likely. Yeah.
There is also like a known problem where the CEOs that they keep getting appointed at Hasbro who want to monetize the absolute hell out of D&D are former executives from companies that have been bankrupted by these people's decisions, because they basically sell everything in order to make a quick buck, and then move on to another company. Yeah. And unfortunately, the stock market doesn't care about any of that. So these people are viewed in the business world as successes, even though they kill companies.
Yeah.
Because they make investors and themselves incredibly rich, usually at the expense of, obviously, companies and employees.
Yeah, I'm bummed about Joanne Fabrics going out of business. Where am I going to get my cheap cloth?
Internet wholesalers?
Is that a thing?
Yeah. I know I bought from a company. I had to do a fair amount of research in order to find it, but I found a linen wholesaler, and they sell
Nice.
100% and blended linens of moderate quality, right? You know, it's actually better than anything I ever bought at Joann's of the same in terms of linen.
My worry about cloth is that, like, I have to feel it. Like, if I'm ever going to use it, I have to feel it before I buy it.
Yeah, well, the nice thing about internet wholesalers is usually they will send you swatches for usually for free.
The place where I get my leather from
Mm-hmm.
is doing another, like, $60 will send you, like, a whole side.
Uh-huh.
But we get to decide what it is. And it's just like, well, let's go. It's like 50% off, but it could be anything.
I'm usually okay with those if I'm buying not for a specific project.
Yeah,
If
which
I've
is
got
why,
a specific project, then I need to know what I'm buying.
I would definitely just buy that and then make something out of whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I don't have the money for it this year, so next time. I feel like I didn't make the hippo head big enough. We'll just say it's Mudang. I'm trying to get better at drawing in volume shapes.
Mm-hmm.
Just so I know they're there, and then I can start doing more work with them. And I think that's been working pretty well for me so far. I'm feeling better about the volume I'm giving. The Sigil team was really insulated, and didn't even know about D&D Beyond maps until a Sigil member accidentally signed up for an internal playtest talking with Sigil. Wow. Bunch of gossip flying around. Funny. Yeah, I don't know. I struggle with VTDs a lot because of like I made a bunch of assets for Aegis Online, which is one my friend made, and he made it literally just so he could use it, right? Like he didn't. It's for free. It's on. I think it's for free still. You might have to get a code. But you set up your own network, and it's a tabletop simulator with whatever the hell you want to put in it. And so I built a bunch of crap for it, so I could play D&D with my friends, right? Like,
yep. And we don't use it.
And we don't. Well, yeah, because Foundry has the integration for Pathfinder and D&D, right? Like, that's really important. But if you can get that, like, after that, it's just Legos. Like, focus solely on making the stats and information seamless, which looks like they tried to do with D&D Beyond, which would have been amazing. Except it doesn't not attached yet. So if that worked, the graphics are almost bullshit. They can be whatever, right?
Yep.
Oh, tired boy. Be right back.
Siegfried, it's called Aegis it's on Twitch. No, it's on
Steam.
It's on Steam. Called Aegis,
I think. Aegis.
I'll look for it.
I think that's it.
AEGIS.
Yeah, like that. Like I said, it was just built so that Because my friend's like, I want to play D&D and I want to play like space battles, and there's just nothing that can do that. So he built it.
Yeah.
And he's like, can you populate this with stuff? And so I gave him a bunch of like wall textures and blocks and cubes. And it's essentially a tiny little tabletop.
I'm not finding it with my search, so.
Okay, he might have delisted it then. It's been a few years. You know, he's working on some other stuff now. But yeah, there've been that one and like Tailspire. There've been a handful of them that have just like focused solely on making it look sexy. And it's like, that's cool, but like that's not the part that you need, right?
Yeah.
You need
especially if you're playing a more complex tabletop game.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. You can play a D&D with a bunch of pennies on a coffee table. Like, I'm afraid it's happened. I went to play Marvel Rivals the other day with my friends, and I logged in, and I was just like, I have no ambition to play this game anymore. It has been just sucked out of me. I don't care anymore. We started the game like the doors opened, and the Doctor Strange had put the portal blocking the door, so we just couldn't do anything for 30 seconds. And we're like, yep, that's it. Game's done. Game done cooked itself. You like Cheerios, kid? Yeah. Is that good? You have chips and snacks and vegetables, but you don't want the Cheerios. Go ahead, no name. Oh. But the codex is it automates the rules. Yeah, see that, like whenever we do like the less automation there is, the happier I usually am. Like I literally just need dice. Dice and a place to keep characters. I do like the automated like lighting and stuff. That's really cool with Foundry. One of the reasons I like Foundry.
Yeah. It's especially helpful because Foundry keeps really good track of low light and dark vision.
Yeah. Yeah, no name. Go ahead and add your suggestion in the chat if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like something with Foundry that bothers me is the like the way the hit points work. Is like if you don't have a dedicated, all I want, which is missing, is just a like plus 1 HP, minus 1 HP.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what I want, and it's just not there. You can scroll wheel it sometimes, and otherwise you just have to do the math in your head. It's like just have a button, click, done. Scarred, many battles, very muscular, multiple steampunk prosthetics. Wait, how? So he's muscular and prosthetic? Can I get a little more specificity there? I think I'm gonna go ahead and roll the next one. I rolled a 1 again. What is wrong with me today? Halfling in trenches, wearing a kettle hat and holding a kettle of tea. Take from that what you will. All right. Oh, you're standing up, kid. It's dangerous. You having a good time? Oh, whoa. Yep. Oh, Jesus. That was almost tragic, but I put a whole bunch of I put the old cat beds underneath the thing he was standing on, and he just ate it, and I just flump into the pillows, and now he's fine. Proper planning. Chris, welcome in. you. Okay, halfling. Halflings don't look like goblins, but tinier ears. Minions share hit points and draw steel, and the codex knows how many minions die when they take damage. Oh, so it's like swarm rules all the time?
Nice.
In a conquest way. That didn't clarify. I meant like, if you want him to be really muscular, that to me usually means like buff arms. But if he has multiple prosthetics, does he have buff prosthetics? Is it just his legs? I need clarification on what many prosthetics means. And if you don't care, I'll play with it. I'll make him a buff robot.
I have drawn many a buff robot before.
Mm-hmm. We talked about halflings having beards.
Oh, not in a long time.
I don't think hobbits are supposed to have beards, so I think we're gonna go.
Yeah, they can have mutton chops, but it's the feet where all their body hair is.
Mm-hmm. He's like the guy from Mortal Kombat. His name is Jax. Yeah, he's got big robotic arms. Okay, so he's in a trench, so we're gonna give him a trench coat. Actual trench coat. Am I just drawing really weirdly sized? I think I am.
Possible.
I'm not zoomed in very much today, so everything feels too small. The old Silverhawk cartoon was all muscular enhancements.
Yeah, I never played Cyberpunk 77, but I know that if I did, all the prosthetics that I put on would be super jacked.
Did you ever watch Edge Runner?
No.
It's kind of funny to watch.
Sci-fi has actually never really been my cup of tea. Which is kind of a funny thing for me to say because, like, I openly acknowledge that my favorite book is Ender's Game.
Fair enough.
But, like, most other sci-fi I've read, I don't actually care for. And I think Ender's Game is my favorite specifically because it,
It's a psychological thing, though, right? Like, they're not dealing with a lot of... Besides the fact that it's kind of... It is definitely a sci-fi universe. I don't want to argue against that.
Yeah. But the main point isn't all the crazy tech. The main point is the the trauma and the psychology. Yeah.
Sorry, I got a phone call.
No worries.
Hi, kid. What you doing? Yeah. When did this get knocked over? Look at all these fun things. Oh my goodness. I think he's finally old enough that I need to give him, like, guided things to do. I need to start making games or props or things for him here. I think that might be why he's been so spicy the last few days, because all he wants to do is play with my keyboard. It's like, I need to find something else for you to get addicted to, kid.
I mean, we've talked about your plans for the jungle gym.
Yeah, I need to get that built this week too. What were we talking about before I got a phone call?
I've already forgotten.
Oh, sci-fi. Yeah, Ender's Game is
yeah.
interesting because it's almost video game-esque versus what it actually is, which is like super futuristic warfare. So it's still sci-fi, but it's not like you're not dealing with aliens and weird cybernetics. It's kind of very ethereal.
Yeah. And like, for anybody in chat who does not like Orson Scott Card, I'm 100% there with you. As a queer guy who was also raised Mormon, like, I promise you, you can't beat me when it comes to understanding how toxic he is. But like, he also wrote something that kind of mirrors my own specific trauma in a way that made me feel very seen, and so
you can be right and still be an asshole.
Yeah.
Gotta be able to separate it.
Yeah.
I think there is something weird about, like, that whole mentality. Like, I definitely get where people come from when it comes to, like, hey, I don't want to support WotC, I don't want to support J.K. Rowling's, I don't want to give them money, etc., etc. But I think the difference is, like, are you buying the thing because you like the thing, or are you buying the thing for the person? That's kind of where I draw the line.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you read Harry Potter and you like it and you enjoy it, and then you find out that, you know, she's a horrible person, it's like, well, the damage is already done. I already gave her money. I don't need to burn my books.
Yeah.
Give your books to someone else. Lend them to people. Go to the library.
Yeah, at that point, you're only hurting yourself. You've not materially done anything to Rowling to persuade her.
If you were to play an Oracle, what archetype would you suggest? There's a Divination Wizard is really fun. We had a whole system for, like, how to do oracles and divination stuff that we talked about a little while ago. Hell, it was probably a year ago now. I'm trying to remember what we came up with. Because we'd also talked about it with one of my druids. One of my characters in Druid's games was supposed to be like a fate-touched elf.
Yeah.
And so we talked a lot about, like, how do we deal with the fact that while I don't need to know the future, my character should have an advantage on being in the right place at the right time. And so I think a lot of it's just, you can play it however you want, and then you just need to talk to your DM for the execution of it, right?
Yeah.
So
The way that worked out for us specifically is that actually we don't have a mechanical system set out really. The way it generally works is I as the GM say, okay, so like this is what the encounter is going to be. Rook, if you want to play Finite, despite the fact that this is a government contract and he doesn't want to have anything to do with with the government, he can still show up just because this is where Grandmother Spider wants him to be. And that's we've just kind of above table been like, okay, so like we can just metagame this. And this, I think it's an example of how metagaming can be good if you're consistent with it and if you do it in a way that makes everybody happy.
yeah, I agree. And I do think if you want to play something that it's like more of an oracle, it's going to be really, really heavily influenced by what your DM wants.
Yeah.
Because even if you're just like, oh, I have the lucky feat, right? Or I can re-roll a dice. It's like, that's cool. Like, that's what the divination wizard gives you. But you're still kind of making that choice, and that to me doesn't fit the flavor of an oracle, right?
Yeah.
Because all of the dice are usually reactionary, whereas an oracle or a fortune teller should have overarching influence on the game, and you can only do that with meta knowledge, right?
Yeah.
So
I still really like the 5e divination wizard thing that they can do, where at the start of each day during their spell preparation, they roll a number of d20s, and they can swap them out with other people when they roll their rolls.
did they add the oracle back to second edition? Oh yeah, they did. They changed the they changed the way you no longer get a curse.
Yeah.
Just get the mastery.
So if you wanted to do that the 5e thing, where you roll dice and get to swap them out for what other people roll on the table, like there's a couple ways you could do it. You obviously run this by your GM first, because it's basically right, because it's basically would be porting over a homebrew sort of thing to be like, this is, I want more flavor from my class, and maybe you'd have to give something else up, but like you could either roll religion or cultism, I guess, depending on what your spellcasting skill was, and use that. I've given Rook the option in one game, because we worked this out pretty late. Rook's paladin uses Aerodex, and I've let him roll 3 dice when he uses what's the lore skill you use? Is it just Hero?
It's fortune telling. It's lore fortune telling.
Yeah.
The other part of that, like, just maybe to clarify what you're talking about, like, I've only ever really played Life and Death, or Bones, Life and Bones. Those are probably the two most popular I see. You do get cursed. It's not the same as first edition, though. First edition was like really detrimental, and it got worse and worse, which was fun.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah.
So it's a little different. They changed the way the Oracle works, but it's you still get your masteries, which is great.
And the Oracle was changed kind of recently, I guess.
Pretty
It used to
recently,
be, I think you used to get, your curse used to ramp up much faster. So
I think now what it is you choose the type of curse and the bonus you want from it, whereas before they were like intrinsically linked, which was rough. It was rough.
Yeah.
So
it's had a little bit of a nerf and a little bit of a buff, and overall I think is better balanced, but I'm not 100% sure because I haven't really seen it. I haven't really seen it in action.
Definitely have to give us a rundown of how it goes.
Yeah.
Whoa, kid. You want crayon? Think? Yeah. What time is it here? 1:30. 1:30.
I feel like I'm remembering how to paint. Just
So I'm
needed
playing a
to do
Flames Oracle Leshy, and I have no clue
Flame
what
monster.
archetypes to use if you're using free archetypes. If we're using
Oh.
Gotcha. The Bard is really funny.
I don't know. I don't know enough of the archetypes off the top of my head to be able to give you good advice.
If you are doing the Flame Oracle, let me look at that real quick. Ignition, Breath of Fire, Blazing Bolt, Fireball. Yeah. I mean, you're getting acrobatics too, so.
The Clown is a pretty funny and also a pretty strong archetype, believe it or not. I like the what's it called? It starts with a C. Something to do with spellcasting.
Part of me wants to say you should go wizard just for extra spell stuff, but like I think Bard might be the way to do it.
Yeah, it might be. Well, it actually takes a lot investing in the wizard before you actually get any more spell casting. Cathartic Mage. Cathartic Mage is one that I kind of like. Although again, I haven't seen it in action, so I don't know for sure.
Of course, I'm abusing Pyrophilic Healing. Yeah, I mean, like, it's not hard to. It's not super game breaking, but it's nice, right? You basically be a lot more loose with your fire damage and light yourself on fire and stuff.
Yeah. I really like the Pathfinder agent as well. That doesn't come with a lot of spell casting stuff, but it is like a fair amount of like generally useful stuff. At least I think it's generally useful. You'll have to look through it to make sure because every table plays a little bit differently. So I don't know what you guys do a lot and what rules you ignore. But you get a free Wayfinder, which is really important if you're going to do any playing with or at all with the Aeon Stones. Which I think we don't play with Aeon Stones enough. Although we've had this conversation, we don't really play with any of the items enough.
Yeah.
Which is not great because Pathfinder is really balanced for using to the point where you need a lot of items.
I think a big part of that is basically with how we were playing one, we streamlined it and we leveled up a little too fast. And because of that, we didn't really have time to like explore and find and see items. But if you're leveling up slower and you get items over a level, it has a bigger impact on the items.
Yeah.
So.
And I definitely have not been like awarding the items.
Right. It's just cash rewards every time, right? So we're kind of at the mercy of looking stuff up.
Yeah. But I mean, like, to be fair, it's either at the mercy of you guys taking the initiative and looking stuff up, or you have to deal with whatever I manage to look up.
Right. So with my game, I've been trying really hard to just like throw items at you guys.
Yeah.
And just like see what sticks, see what people want. Oh, that is a stinky baby. Okay. I need to take a break real quick. I'm going to finish this up real quick, and then I will come back, and we'll draw another one. And then, go from there.
Sounds good. Hopefully, when you get back, I'll be ready to move on. And help out.
You could go Druid for some silly shenanigans. Especially if you're going to be a Leshy. That could work
Yeah.
really well, and it would also you get more fire spells, more ways
Look,
to light yourself on fire.
yeah. I'm just gonna say it like outright. I legit think that the primal spell list is the best spell list.
It's the most. I think it's the most comfortable one, right? Like the other ones
Yeah.
all kind of went off in a different direction than they're
Yeah.
usually in, but the primal is just it's classic, like arcane magic, which is great, or elemental magic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be right back. 1 second.
Abusing pyrophilic healing if you're allowed. Yeah, Rook is doing that with Rook's got a Gourd Leshy Bard, which who has that as well. And like he stacked Thorns damage on him as well. His name is Cranberry Granola Crunch, and he is I'm not gonna say the bane of my existence, but he is a headache sometimes. It is very funny to have a spellcaster that is not afraid of the front line, and that is also like tanky and hard to deal with in physical combat. But yeah, if anytime I pin him down, basically, Cranberry Granola Crunch's first move is to set himself on fire. Although as a bard, he is usually on the back lines spending most of his turn uh buffing the party each round. I'm glad Rook enjoys the bard because I'm still kind of down on it. It really is pure support. Although I suppose that the occult spell list is getting a little bit better in terms of they're adding spells that give it more breadth of use. Anyway, cranky old burnt tree who hates life, honestly just wants to die, but is so stubborn. Nice. Prickly old juniper is immediately what I thought of. Let's see, what other trees do I know that are really hard to kill? Ah, my neighbor's got a black locust that has been sick and dying for the last 30 years. And it's a domestic variety, so it doesn't have the big old thorns on it, but I believe black locusts usually are covered in thorns. Yeah, they're prickly and nasty. Oh, but black locust doesn't propagate via fire. Maybe you need an acacia.
Cranky old burnt tree who hates life honestly just wants to die. So stubborn. All right. What did I miss?
Nothing. Just talking about their character.
Atomic and Crustacean Crusader, thank you for the posture check. I don't know why I'm not getting the audio notes. That's my bad, but thank you, even though that was 10 minutes ago.
I told them about Cranberry Granola Crunch, who also has a defensive tactic of setting himself on fire to heal.
Yeah. He's a bard. I don't remember what his archetype is, though. I'll have to look. I think I might have gone wizard so I could light myself on fire more. Pyromancy wizard. What was that, kid? You okay? What time is it here? It is almost 2 o'clock. We started late today.
Yep.
When did we start? At 1 o'clock or something?
Yeah,
we've been going
about
for an hour.
1:15, I think.
I want to do one more. The kids awake and around now, but we'll see if we can keep on keeping on. You want to play with the ball of yarn? You can play with the yarn. Oh, I hate it. I hate it. Do 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 do. 6. Giant, massively long Yonti Empress. Massively long, huh?
Super big snake.
Yep. Snake mommy question mark. I mean, I guess.
Something like that.
You got the crayons? I'm gonna turn these off. Just feel like I don't have the space right now. Oops, now I've turned everything on. There we go. Whoop.
Ah. Egg exploded on me for a second.
don't know what we're gonna do after this week. I think we can finish up what I'm doing this week. And then,
Okay.
And then next
Then
week,
we can switch to my game again.
sure. Next week I'll be out of town,
Okay.
and then after that I don't have anything planned for a while, so. Should be good to go for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we have to split. I guess we don't have to split. I just have to remerge the parties or switch to the other team. Just because. I guess we were only splitting the team really because we thought we were going to have more people play, but.
Yeah. Yeah. I still feel bad that we weren't able to get Ace to play in a timely enough manner.
Yeah. I'm always hesitant to put hair on Yanti, but I feel like maybe that's what their headdress is for.
Yeah, probably.
Kid, you cannot walk under the desk. You are too tall. You're gonna keep cracking your head into it, and then you're gonna get upset. You gotta get out of there. Nope. You gotta move. No, you're gonna smack your head into the desk. Come on. I don't want to play this game again today.
First indication, we'll have to wrap it up soon, probably.
Yeah, we'll probably have to call it after this one.
Yeah, it was about. No, we don't. Sorry, we don't need players. We had too many, so we were gonna divide the party, so that we could get more people into the setting we were playing, and
Then the party fell apart.
yeah, and then the second party fell through, unfortunately. So. That's okay though. I think that the new main party probably meshes better.
There were some issues with the old one. Just like a lot of people not really knowing what they wanted to play and
Yeah.
trying to figure out what, like the vibe for the game. I think this one was built with a little more knowledge, which is always good.
Yeah. I agree. Sorry.
I had wanted to set up another Patreon game this year, but it's like, oh, the kid has taken up way more effort than I thought I was gonna. Because like when he was little, I was like, oh, this isn't gonna be so bad. Now it's just.
Yep.
He's a handful.
You are experiencing the thing that every parent ever has experienced, which is, oh, this is requires a little bit more constant focus than I was expecting.
Yep. I was talking to my dad about like how he dealt with kids and stuff and growing up, and us growing up, and because I was like, man, I constantly feel like I should have a job beyond what I'm doing now, and every time I sit down and try to figure that out, it's like I don't have enough time to do everything right now. Trying to add a job into that is just gonna make that worse.
Yep.
And it's like, oh no.
You literally have to get a nanny, which would...
Yeah. I have to make 2 incomes worth of income to pay off that other person's income.
Yep.
Well, a lot of it's just... We're getting good going to the store together and stuff. Figuring that stuff out.
That's good.
Medusa Slay looks great. It's supposed to be a Yuan-Ti Empress, so... With the only clarifier being very long.
I'm playing with the blending brush too much, and I've got all these areas that look way too overworked.
I think it's fine. Maybe zoom out a little bit. Just zoom out for a bit and take a minute. Bionic, how are you doing today? I'd like to play more with shapes. That's something else that I'm going to try to do in the next coming months. I had Jonas draw me a handful of crabs for the game. And it's just like, I can simplify what I think I need to do a lot. So I'm going to focus really hard on just like grabbing shapes and simplifying my thoughts down. What are you trying to grab at, kid? What are you doing? I could bribe you with food, but I don't want to do that. What about this? You like Teddy? Yeah, you know Teddy. And I think that's going to help with the game a lot. If I can start like really unifying shapes and making things make sense.
Yep.
Without having to add detail. So, something I'll work on here. I'm struggling with the towers. I've never been good at drawing buildings. Like, I can do architectural drawings, that's fine. But, like, designing buildings has always been rough for me. Looks like they want us to play a class we're familiar with, so I'm playing a conduit priest or elementalist. That's good. Is Draw Steel the Coville thing, or is that something different?
Yeah, Draw Steel is the Matt Colville.
Gotcha.
TTRPG. MCDM. The formerly entitled MCDM TTRPG. It's interesting. They made some really good choices.
Did they?
Yeah.
I gotta say, like, the more I hear about it, the less I want to play it. So but that could just be my...
Yeah.
Okay, you're done. You don't climb on the desk. No. Do. I love Matt Coville's like DMing advice.
Yeah.
Like I constantly send his DMing series to people when they're starting to DM.
There's a lot of really good wisdom in basically every single one of his DM advice.
Yeah, and I think I'm not a big fan of his the way he designs things, the way he designs games. I don't for some reason I always have pushback of like, why would you do it that way? Like what? And so I think we just have different play styles, even though he's pretty epic for what he is.
Yeah. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Mad respect to the guy. I could not play at one of his tables. I absolutely would hate playing in any one of his games. But that's I think it's just because he's really into like political intrigue.
Yeah. Yeah, we have different styles about what's important in the play.
Yeah. Yeah. His games are also can get pretty brutal pretty quickly.
Okay. This kid needs some attention, so I think this is probably a good place to call it. Uh-oh. Oh. I'm like, the keyboard's not working again. It's because I unplugged it. Alright, we're going to call that there. Thanks for hanging out today, everybody. Sorry you didn't get to draw more Druid. Sorry it's a short stream.
That's fine.
We'll be back on Friday, hopefully with the internet's permission. And it seems like things are working better. So whatever they fixed, I think it's like my bandwidth has doubled, so that's good. I'm actually getting what I pay for now. We'll see if that maintains itself. And yeah.
Always hard to tell when you live in an oligarchy.
Yeah, exactly. With the impossible playtest, I hope it means we get more flesh warp opinions in the future. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what's going on there. That's all I got. I'm going to go take care of the kid for a bit. I might be back a little later in the Discord just fiddling with the game stuff. Hopefully I'll have a game demo for people to play next week, I hope. The last one went out really quick, and I think like 2 or 3 people played it, and that was good. I got good feedback. So we got some new stuff. Dalcor and I have to figure out exactly what we want to push, and we'll probably push out like 1 level with a few waves and let people try it and just give us feedback on it. So if you want to be a part of that, join the Discord. I'll make sure to send that out to people who would like to play it. And other than that, stay happy, stay healthy, keep your dice on the table. We'll catch everybody next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.